Hello, welcome back. It is Friday night. Tis the eve of Game 7. Yes, it is. The Sixers were down 3-1 in the series. They lost 2 games of the 3 that they lost by over 30 points, and the other one they lost by just 8, but still lost. The series just about 5 days ago, everyone thought it was over. They thought we were done. Yeah, literally 5 days ago, it looked like we were finished, and now it's tie series with 1 game to play. It's going to be tomorrow, 7:30 p.m., and I think we're going to win it. Now, let's discuss how we got here, right? So, well, actually, one key thing is if we're going to win or not is Tatum playing? And the answer to that question is yes. While Tatum did sustain injury in the last game, so we don't know if he's going to be playing at 100%. But according to the Boston Celtics practice today, there are no injuries. So that means Jason Tatum will be playing Game 7, even if he plays it hurt. But the way I think we can win is by keeping up our defensive intensity. If we look at the games we lost, Game 1 we lost. They shot 50% from the field, 37% from 3, which actually isn't great, but I remember this was the game where we shot 18% from 3. Obviously, probably our season worst, let's be honest. Game 2, we won. Game 3, we lost. Obviously, they shot 23. They made 23, shooting 40%. And then you go the next game that they won by 30. They made 24 threes, shooting 45%. But then you look at these more recent games, the games that we're winning. 11 threes at 28% and 12 threes at 29%. The Sixers' defensive intensity has really been revved up over these past 2 games, or really just 1.5, because we were down like 10 points at halftime of Game 4 or 5, and it looked like all hope was lost. It looked like we were done, and then they came out in that second half and played like a different team, and they came out in Game 6 and played like a better team, and they've extended the series all the way. Obviously, Joel Embiid post appendicitis looks great. He obviously played the first game he played. He got 26-10, but we lost by 30. So everyone was like, "Oh, he's slowing down the team too much." But it was actually, in my opinion, quite the opposite. Joel Embiid played great in the minutes. He had 26 points, 10 rebounds, but they just forgot how to play without him, which is weird because you did it for the last 3 weeks, and now after 6 minutes, you can't do it. But that because he only played 34 minutes is a lot, but he did play 40 minutes in the closer game, and then he played 34 last night again. But I guess he played more in the second half of the first one because they were losing so bad. Was unable to wait. Hold on. Yeah, 34 minutes, 39 minutes. Yeah, okay. Was unable to make any threes, really. He's since his return, he is 2 for 16 from the 3-point line, which is horrible. But he's in the first game, even with those horrible 3-point shots, 60% true shooting, 52% true shooting, 45% true shooting, right? Near triple-double, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 33 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. He's a playmaker. Obviously, if you watched Game 6, you know he had that one crazy behind the back. Hold on, my microphone's unplugged. Talking to a void. Behind the back pass to Kelly Oubre for the dunk, because that's what he does, right? It's not just the fact that he scores, it's the fact that he demands attention, right? Because Joel Embiid got the ball every time, and they ignored him, he'd score. So they have to look at him. But then you got Kata looking at him, and Kelly Oubre is being guarded by, Jaylen Brown or Tatum. They kind of shift to look at Embiid, and then Embiid behind the back pass to a wide open Kelly Oubre. I think a lot of people hate on Nick Nurse, but one thing that's gotten a lot better since the Nick Nurse era started in Philadelphia was Joel Embiid learned how to pass the ball effectively, which makes him 3 times the player he was because he's able to actually create for his teammates as well. He was averaging like 3 assists per game 4 seasons ago, and now these numbers 8, 8, 6 in the games that he's played so far, these playoffs, right? Like, that's pretty good. So he's been back. He's looking good. And also, obviously, if you watch the game, you probably saw the clip near the end. Sam Hauser tripped over Kelly Oubre. Kelly landed on his back, and then I think it was Hauser. It might have been Luka Garza. Um, I think it was Luka Garza now that I think about it, because I could just be completely wrong. Now I'm going to pull it up. But one of the bigger Celtics guys tripped over Kelly Oubre into Embiid, and obviously that's a scary moment because Embiid, obviously, heavy injury history. You see someone trip into his legs, it's not a good sign. It was Luka Garza, yeah. And the first thing Kelly Oubre did, if you look at the clip, was directly look back and look at Joel Embiid because he was worried. He saw what Joel Embiid was doing, which was Kelly Oubre's signature move, the push-ups on the ground. Kelly Oubre has done that multiple times before, and he starts celebrating with them. And so Embiid was really into it. He was interacting with the crowd in the beginning of the game when he got that and one. He did a pump fake of the motion that he tends to do that gets him many fines. Obviously, we all know what that is. And then and then at the end of the game, when the fans broke out in the "We Want Boston" chants to mock Boston, who was mocking us, who mocking them, mocking us. Yes, it's a long chain, but I think we were mocking Boston, who were mocking us because we were mocking them, mocking us. Yes, that's what it is. 'Cause we chanted it before the series. They mocked us after game one, winning by 30. We mocked them back um, between games 2 and 3 on the Switch. Um, well, I guess that wasn't as bad, but then they mocked us again after game 4 when they won by 30, and then we mocked them right back last night after game 6, winning 2 in a row. And at the end, when we were doing that, it was foul shots. He was away from the ball. If you don't know, on foul shots, Embiid usually when the Sixers are shooting is um, he was talking to Nick Nurse, so he was way back, right? Because the game was also over. They didn't need to they didn't need the offensive rebound. They were chanting "We want Boston," and Embiid was smiling and nodding along, so he was kind of acknowledging that. And then after the game, he obviously said, um, we've been losing to these guys for a while now, and he's tired of losing to them, which is completely fair. The Celtics have owned us in the past, but tomorrow is another chance for us to break out from this one-sided rivalry. And the quotes they bring up, BC quotes, before COVID quotes of what Joel Embiid said. We all know that quote's been around since 2018, and I still like to use it today. And we're gonna prove it wrong tomorrow. I truly hope. Um, but the real reason I think the Sixers have been winning these games is because of the defensive intensity. Quinn Grimes obviously been really, really good for what he's supposed to be, but really where it's at is Paul George, right? Paul George is so, so good for what he is because he's a forward with 6'10" forward with gigantic arms. Is Jaylen Brown cannot cook on Paul George. He cannot do anything. Tatum has struggled when Paul George is on him too. And then the best thing with Brown is if Kelly's guarding him, who's also been playing great defense this series, Kelly is really good at selling the push-offs. He's really good at drawing offensive fouls, and Jaylen Brown is the biggest. He'd probably led the league, let's be honest. I'm not sure about that stat, but he definitely has at least the most of them in the playoffs so far. Push-off guy. He gets called for the most push-offs because it's like his signature move. He tries to do a step back, but he extends the arm. He's like Derrick Henry, stiff arming people out there, and he tries to get away with it, and he does sometimes, but he also doesn't, right? He also gets this card, which helped the Sixers. So the defensive intensity has been really big, and like I showed you, the numbers show that when we can slow down their threes is when we're winning the games because that is the Celtics' main source of points is the three ball. It is getting quick open threes, and so when we're able to slow it down, um, it helps us a lot to be able to beat them in these games. And we got one more to prove it, right? We come into this game, I think, at 7, maybe 8.5 point underdogs right now, plus 250, something like that. And it's like, I don't understand how they make those odds when we've won 2 out of 3 in Boston. And we've played them 10 total times this year, and we've won 5 of them. Where are you getting that it's a 1-4 that we win this game? Like, what? Where is that coming from? I don't know. But I think it's higher than that. Um, I think Joel wants this one badly, and I think it's going to show. Um, if we're able to contain Tatum, who's playing hurt, and I think we'll win this game. And props to Paul George also creating shots on the offensive end. He's made a few shots this series where it's just I'm just looking around at the shot. It's like, was that like this is 2026 Paul George? Like really? 30, 38, 37, whatever he is. I think he's 39 at this point. Year-old Paul George is doing that. But it's been a really impressive series for my Sixers so far. I think we stand a really nice chance in Game 7. But even if we lose, we took a 2 seed who was supposed to sweep us to 7 games. And I think whoever wins the series will be favorites to win the East. Not favorites to win the East, but like in my mind, right? Like obviously odds-wise, they'll probably not be. Though the Celtics would be. I don't think the Sixers would be. I think the Knicks would be slightly higher than them, but I think the Sixers would beat the Knicks in a series, and I think whoever wins the bottom half of the bracket is going to crush either the Pistons, Magic, Cavs, or Raptors, because those are all Game 7s too. The Knicks are the only one in the East who made the second round so far. But the Magic sold today, dude. They scored 19 second half points, lost by 20. They were up like 20 points at half, and they sold. They had their chance to beat Detroit, and they absolutely threw it away. But anyways, thank you for watching. Just remember the keys to the game: slow down the 3 ball, keep high intensity, and honestly, get to the foul line, flop as much as you can. Try and make threes. Obviously, that's an obvious one. Get the ball to Paul George. Get the ball to Tyrese Maxey. Do not force shots. And the most important thing to me about this game is to get the ball to Joel Embiid. No matter what. Run the offense through Joel Embiid. He is the hungriest guy on the court. He is obviously the hungriest guy on the court. He is either going to score on Cato or Vucevic or draw enough attention to where there's someone out on the arc is wide open. Because that, if you notice, he's passing these balls. Like he's getting into the paint, drawing attention, and then kicking out for threes. And that's not something he used to be able to do. And also, it doesn't feel like the Celtics have an answer. Every time they ask Celtic about it or Joe Mazzulla about it in the post game, they don't give definitive answers. So maybe they're trying to be nonchalant and mysterious, or maybe they just don't know. And the Sixers have them beat. And if we have them beat going into tomorrow, we knock out of there. With our first 3-1 win in history, the Sixers are 0-18 in series after trailing 3-1. The Celtics are 32-0 in series after leading 3-1. So that is a 50-0 that the Sixers would end up losing the series if you combine them. And, eventually it's going to change. And hopefully this is the one that it changes. Hopefully I want New York so badly. I want Detroit. It doesn't matter. I think we beat them all if we win this next game. I think this is the most important game of the Eastern Conference playoffs so far. Because, there's other Game 7s. But I don't think those teams are as good as the Knicks or us. Right? I don't think they're as good as anyone in the bottom half. I don't think those games truly matter. Because I don't think anyone from that top half of the bracket is making the finals. But we'll see what happens. And I'm just hoping my team can pull through for us. Flyers also play tomorrow. They beat the Penguins. Pretty cool. Don't really watch hockey. Sinner versus Zverev tomorrow. Obviously, we're rooting for Sinner. We hate Zverev here. We believe Olga and Brenda here. This is Zverev Hate Club. And then Mira. Let's go Mira Andreeva, my Russian queen, against Kostyuk. I like Kostyuk, but the answer's Mira. Ooh, I just realized that's Russia versus Ukraine. That they're not going to do a handshake. A lot of the Ukrainian players refuse to do handshakes with the Russian players, even if they're anti-war, which obviously I believe that Mira is. I know Rublev is, and but that will be interesting to see if there's tension there. Hopefully there's not. Hopefully that doesn't get into the way of a great match because they're both great competitors. But I hope Mira wins. I love her, so we'll see how that goes. But most importantly, let's get this Game 7 dub. I start yapping a little bit, but let's get this dub tomorrow, and let's go to New York in high spirits. Real quick, New York fans were chanting, "We want Boston, we want Boston." You're not getting Boston, buddy. They want Boston because they're afraid of Philadelphia, and we're gonna prove that. We're gonna prove them right. We're gonna beat them.